Hi there, my name is Lindsay and I'm a junior music therapy major at the College of Worcester. Today I'm going to talk about how to manage stress for important tests or final assignments. So, the reason why I get nervous sometimes when preparing for tests and exams is just because I know that my grade is on the line, I'm being evaluated, and the fact that, I might know this material really well, but I only get one shot, and I might end up doing poorly just because I'm feeling nervous, and it's frustrating because I know that I know the information. So some signs that I know I'm getting anxious is sometimes I have short, shallow breaths, my heart starts racing, sometimes my hands start shaking, a lot of physical symptoms, and a lot of negative thoughts, like wondering, oh, I'm going to fail this test, I don't know if I'm going to do well. So that's a lot of times how I feel when preparing for important assignments. Some techniques that I use to manage stress, some study techniques, are, first off, one thing that I find really important is knowing your learning style. That can help you tailor your studying. So, for example, I know that I'm an auditory and a kinesthetic learner. So, because of that, what I do is I like to make note cards. Even if I have all the information already, just the physical act of writing the information again helps me to ingrain it in my memory more. Additionally, since I'm also an auditory learner, even saying the information while I'm writing it helps me a lot. So just knowing your learning style, maybe you're a visual learner, so you read the notes over again or read parts of the book again. So that's one thing that can help. Another thing that I like to use is having timelines for how you do your studying. So maybe if you know you have a 5-day guideline until your test, you break up into small goals for every day. So maybe if it's a big test for the first day, you make half of your note cards on day 1. And then on day 2, you do the second half. Day 3, maybe you study half the material, half of the note cards. Day 4, study the other half of the note cards. And then day 5, do a comprehensive review of everything. So you can adjust it to your personal timeline. That's just a good way that I like to do my studying, is breaking it up into small goals day by day. Also, just another thing to keep in mind is ask questions along the way. So if you ask, one question a day in your class throughout a couple weeks, you're that much more prepared for the test, and you don't have to struggle while you're studying asking all these questions of things that you don't know and waiting until the last minute. So that's another way to keep your preparation consistent. So another thing that I like to do to help reduce some of the physical symptoms of test anxiety or final assignment anxiety, I like to call it the BRAT diet. So it's sometimes if you get a lot of physical symptoms before tests, to spell out BRAT, it's bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. I know that sounds strange, but it's tried and true. I've done it several times, and it helps me to alleviate some of my physical symptoms before the test and to not get sick before tests, because I used to have really bad test anxiety and actually get physically ill sometimes before or during tests, and just changing my diet right before the test, it helped me to not get sick or to calm down. So some other ways that I calm down if I happen to get anxious during a test includes deep breathing is really important. Also, just changing your attitude, just thinking to yourself, okay, I know this material, and just picturing the positive outcome of doing well on the test and just having that confidence. Another thing is, if you really are that kind of person who gets so anxious that you forget the answers right away as soon as you see the test and get really overwhelmed, I always pencil in the information that I find that I'm probably going to forget the fastest, the second I get the test, I write it on the top of the paper and make notes to myself so that, you know, if I'm so anxious that my short-term memory is going to be blocked off, I'll have that note to myself and I'll still remember. Also, maybe even just perusing the test and going to the spots that you know are most difficult for you and that you know you're going to forget the fastest, and maybe working on the test backwards. I do that all the time. I take tests out of order, and it's helped me, and it's helped me to attain positive grades, even if, you know, I'm really anxious. Another thing, just make sure you get really a well-rested night before the test. That's so critical. Just make sure you get a lot of sleep, because that's one of the biggest things that helps in memory consolidation before taking a test. So, other than that, that is all the advice I have about keeping calm during and before tests or final assignments that are really important. Just remember to try to adapt your studying to you, and also make time for yourself. You know, even if it's just talking to a friend for half an hour, or even listening to relaxation music during studying, it can just keep your head in the game and help you for the long run. That's it, and I hope you can use some of this advice for your own benefit. Thank you.